This might be the biggest rapid I've ever run. House Rock was pretty big, too.
Welcome to a Tales from the Crips short. Today I bring on the Gartner boys, Orin and Rowan, to recount their trip down the Grand Canyon, which they finished up in early July. Rowan, at age 10, tied for the youngest known descent of the canyon. But first, a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by Four Corners Riversports. To me, Four Corners is exactly what a paddling shop should be. It's staffed with dedicated river people who know the sport inside and out and are all about having fun and getting people outside. Four Corners Riversports is located in Durango, Colorado. They're a full-service paddle sports retail and rental store. If you're looking to get on the water, look no further than Four Corners Riversports. Call them at 970-259-3893 or visit their website at www.riversports.com. This episode is also sponsored by Taylor Barker with the group real estate Steamboat. I've known and paddled with Taylor for years, and he brings passion to everything he does. Steamboat Springs is a wonderful town with the Yampa River running right through it and has a vibrant and friendly boating community. If you're thinking of making a move to the Steamboat area or purchasing a vacation home, be sure to get in touch with Taylor. He's happy to give you a lay of the land, the real estate market, and to help find the perfect property for you. You can reach him at 336-314-4353 or by email at taylor@brokerintheboat.com. And you can find those links in the show notes. This podcast is being featured on paddlinglife.com. Paddlinglife.com does a wonderful job of finding all the most interesting happenings in the world of paddling and bringing them straight to you in the form of news, interviews, articles, videos, and more. Check out paddlinglife.com. Now, on to the show. Hello and welcome to Tales from the Crips. I am back with my old friend Russ Gartner, but nobody wants to hear more from him, so we're bringing in some new blood. And when I say new blood, I mean his two boys, Orin and Rowan, who just got back from a trip down the Grand Canyon. And Rowan, as far as we know, is tied for the youngest known descent of the Grand Canyon at 10 years old, and Orin made his first descent of the Grand Canyon just a couple of years older. And they're probably both already showing up their old man. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's up? How's it going?
All right. That's the kind of spirit I like to hear. So Grand Canyon just got off. What was the paddling group like? You got invited on a trip with somebody? How many people were in the group?
16 people.
Okay, so you had a big group. And were there other kids, or were you two the only kids there?
There were other kids. Yeah, I think there was 6 kids.
Oh, okay. So you had a lot of kids on there.
3, 4.
And kayakers or in the raft?
They were in the raft. Me, Orin, and Dad was the only one who were in kayaks.
Okay, so it was mainly a rafting trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's probably good, and that you didn't have to at least carry a lot of gear. What kind of kayaks were you in?
I was in a small Ripper. Rowan's in a small Antics
2.0, and Dad was in a medium Antics 2.0.
All right, so you all had half-slice boats, so perfect for a run like the Grand Canyon.
Yup.
So what was the flow like on the Grand Canyon?
It was really high. It was like 20,000. It was golden flows. Golden
Flows. All right. And what's a normal flow? Like when a normal raft trip, what kind of CFS do they usually have?
Like probably half that.
Like 10,000.
Yeah, so you're getting almost double what a normal flow is. So big. Yeah. What was the character of it? What did it feel like compared to stuff you usually paddle?
Well, it was big. The waves were like 40 feet tall. Super big. The swirlies, we found some boils that were like as tall as us, and then there were whirlpools that would suck our boat down and bring us on our end.
It was
Did you get caught? Did you get caught in some of those?
Oh, of course we did. Can't really avoid them.
Intentionally or accidentally?
Well, some of the times you're like, you stay away from me, and then the other times they're just like, okay, these are fine. We don't have to paddle away from these.
Yeah. So how many days did it take you to get down there?
Well, 16 in the park, and then we did a night float down from Diamond.
Yeah, 2 more days.
Oh, okay. So you extended it. Nice.
Yeah.
If you want to count the night float as a day, then it would be 2 more days after that.
Gotcha. And have you ever done a trip that long before?
No, that's the longest trip I've been on the river for.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Were there challenges in being out there that long? How did you feel about it?
It was definitely challenging. The most challenging thing about it was you got to take care of your body a lot. You really do.
It's super dry. Your hands.
Yeah, I don't know what I got on my hands, but it's some kind of bacteria thing. And good thing we had a pediatrician on there, so we had a doctor boat with 2 doctors on it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So they took care of you? Did you get some antibiotics? Did you get some antibiotics on the trip then?
Of course we did. We had everything we need. We got a Amy Jacoby.
Awesome.
And a Mindy.
Now you're talking. So tell me about the hardest rapid that you ran on the run.
I think it might be close to Granite. That was pretty hard. Granite was definitely pretty hard.
So describe it to me. Did you get out and take a look at it when you got there?
Yes, we did. We there was another kayaking group that went down before us, and they were all going just going down it. There was only one person that ran the meat line. He got launched up in the air. But they didn't really scout it. There was like one person that was taking pictures on the top of the hill.
Okay. But you took a good look at it?
Definitely.
And could you tell what the good line was from looking at it, or did you get help from other people?
I was definitely skeptical because it looked like you had to run the meat line. But then I saw the kayakers go through and said you're gonna have to paddle, and I thought, wow, you're gonna have to paddle really hard to kind of skim the edges of the meat.
Okay, so you went for the line to get around the whole wave hole in the middle. And how did it go? How did it go once you got in your boat? Were you nervous when you got in your boat?
I was like, all right, this is a big rapid. This might be the biggest rapid I've ever run. House Rock was pretty big too. You
had already run House Rock at that point?
Yeah, the House Rock is at the beginning. It's the first large rapid.
Okay. I've never run the Grand, so I don't know all the order.
I was pretty like, wow, this is really big. It was fortunate that we didn't have any flips. That was good. No one flipped on Granite, but my mom flipped on House Rock.
Oh no!
She flipped twice.
In a pack raft or in a kayak?
Oh, in a raft, in a big raft.
She was in bubbles.
She flipped the raft. Oh my god!
She flipped a raft on a wave, not a hole, not anything. A wave.
That tells you how big the waves are.
Yeah, those waves are like 40 feet. Those are like huge.
Head on, like right over.
Oh, really? Just going up the wave, and she just flipped.
Yeah,
flip backwards.
Nose all the way back over. Wow.
Flip.
That's some power with a loaded raft.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she had to swim through House Rock Hole. Because there were 3 waves, 3 huge waves, and then there was a hole coming out of the side of the rock face.
She was probably not very happy about that.
she flipped on the first one.
So she went through the rest of the rapid. Oh, good thing she's tough, huh?
Yeah.
So tell me about the scariest part of the trip. Was that it, or were there other parts that were scarier?
I don't know. that's something that I'll have to think. Hants was a huge rapid at that time. There were 3 runs, and the third one wasn't cool. There was a right line that went through like a huge hole, and then it went into like all the water was going right. There was the middle line where you had to go through a starter hole to get into the rapids, the part of the middle of the rapid, which is just water coming every direction. Like the waves are just shooting up. Like the water's all like, where am I going? Which way? This way. I think I want to go this way then. It was definitely hard, but I went the left line, which was kind of the sneak line. I mean, it was a huge rapid for me. That was definitely by far one of the biggest rapids I've ran. So I think that we only ran the middle line and the left line. The left line for the entrance, we called it the entrance rock. For the middle, you would go right of the entrance rock. For the left side, you'd go left of the entrance rock. And you'd come down, and it would be like ripples and holes, and then super sloshy water going everywhere. Like I said, was in the middle. And then at the end, there was just all the water was coming into huge crashing waves. Just huge wave train at the end.
Yeah, that sounds big. Was there any point on the trip where you were, because this has happened to me before, where I've been on a run and I've thought, am I in over my head? Should I be here? Should I want to go home if I could? Like, was there any point on there where you were worried that you couldn't do it?
I definitely had a moment at Hants because that was the first super large rapid. Crystal was pretty big, but that one was easy to sneak. Orin and my dad went down and got the meat. Proper down the middle.
Tell me about that, Orin. How did it feel going down the middle of that thing?
Well, so at 20,000, there's a right in the middle. There's a like a diagonal crashing wave that would, if it crashed on an 18-foot boat, that it's gone. That boat's flipped over. So we decided to go over there, me and my dad, and so we were going over there, and it crashed right before my dad, and then it formed into a nice wave, and he went over it, and I was like pretty far behind Dad, because when you get on the tongue, you shoot out like a quarter of a mile. Like you start going really, really fast.
I'm sure.
And so then I went over this gigantic wave right after Dad had, and I thought it was going to crash on me when I was at the top, because like I slowed down a little bit. I thought I was suck me back, but it let me pass, and then the rest was just a wave train. Nothing compared to that crash.
Nice. So you knew you were golden once you got past that thing?
Yeah. For sure.
Anybody get stuck in a hole or anything like that?
No, but we were real close to some really big holes. Like on the ledge hole at Lava, one side, like the right side of it was a crashing wave, and so it was kind of hard to actually like get into the hole itself. If you'd have to try pretty hard to get into that hole, and then also there's some other gigantic waves just on some like little riffles. There's like these gigantic pour over rocks that went into even bigger holes.
Yeah, pour over rocks that went into more pour over rocks that made huge boils that would easily flip a raft.
Sure.
Pretty scary stuff if you think about
it. Yeah, you don't want to think too much about that. You want to think positive, right? Now, Rowan, you're as far as I've been told, you're tied with one of Tommy Hilleke's kids as the youngest kid at 10 years old to go down the Grand Canyon. Yeah. How does that make you feel? Does the record matter to you? How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty cool. I've definitely bragged a little bit. not really bragged, just told people, hey, I'm going to be the youngest one. But yes, I'm tied with Bodie Hilleke.
Okay, Bodie Hilleke was the first one to go down at 10. Are you counting the months? Do you know who is actually younger by months and days?
I don't really care as long as that As long as I know that I am definitely close to the youngest one down the Grand Canyon, I just don't have to really look anything up, mostly.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty cool. And I mean, like
Wow.
Orin, are you angry that he's your younger brother and you didn't get the record, or?
No, it's cool.
That's the right attitude. Do you think that it matters? What's more important? Just going down the Grand Canyon? Would you do it? Would you do it if you weren't going to tie, Rowan, for the record?
No, I would always go down the Grand Canyon. Always.
The experience itself was worth it.
It was definitely worth it, even though I was tiny and scared. In those huge 40-foot waves. Talk about sockdologer. Jesus! That thing was huge. There were 40-foot waves. Easy. Easy.
What would you say to other kids, say at your age, your friends, in your school, whatever? Like, would you tell them to get into kayaking, or like, what do your friends think about this? Do they know what kayaking's about?
Well, the thing is they're the kind of kids that would sit on the couch all day. If they had no school, they would sit on the couch all day. They might do a little bit of adventuring, like car camping, but they're not like adventurous like us. Not really. Not to be mean, but it's just true.
Yeah, and you think your life is a better way to live, or how do you feel about that? Do you sometimes wish that your dad was?
I think it's definitely better because I can see that the kids in my class, they're so skinny. I can lift them up easy. Easy. Dude, they're so tiny. Some are up to my chin. They're so tiny.
Maybe should you send them to the gym? Would that be better, or would it be better to get them out kayaking?
It'd be better to get them outside and actually doing something. That's the best thing for them.
What is it that makes you feel so good about going outside? Like, what does it bring to your life going on these adventures with your family versus just staying at home and hanging around?
It's like when I go to one of my friends' house, it just doesn't smell like fresh air and outside. When I go to our house, it smells like victory. It smells like we've done so many things that we have succeeded with.
That's awesome. How do you feel about it, Orin? Have you ever felt like I wish my parents would stop dragging me around to all these places, or?
At some points, like I don't like to wake up and then before breakfast go on a hike. I'd rather eat breakfast than go on a hike. I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit of laziness kicks in when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
When I was on the Grand Canyon, guess what else I was famous for?
Let's hear it.
I was famous for I would ask every single J-rig, every single commercial boat that I saw, have any candy? I would ask that. Sometimes I would actually get candy. There was one guy, his name was RD. That's what they called him, Mr. RD. And I asked him, "You got any candy?" At the helicopter pads where they helicopter the Whitmore wash, where they helicopter the people that want to be flown out.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked him, and he was like, "Sure, dude." And he gave me a bag of candy with just bars of candy. And then when we passed him again, when we were going down at the end of our trip, he had more candy, and I said, "Hi, RD," and he just reached into the cooler right next to his feet and tossed me a bag of candy, and I was like, "Thank you so much! You're the best, RD."
I hope you shared.
Of course I did. It was too much candy to eat. Too much. Much too much.
Is there anything that you wish you brought on the trip besides more candy? that you didn't bring?
Oh no, we bring too much candy. But still, I was asking for candy anyway. Why not? I don't know. There was definitely a lot of things that wasn't needed that you could swap out for things that were needed. I don't really know the answer to that question. That's kind of hard.
That sounds like you were pretty well prepared then, if you can't think of anything.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me about how you got started kayaking. What's your first memory of learning to kayak?
I think the largest first memory that I have of kayaking was when my dad bring me down Westwater. That's the first biggest canyon I've probably been down in a kayak.
But
my first kayaking experience on a big river is Cataract Canyon in the Green.
But you had surely practiced a lot before that, because those are
not really. No.
No.
I didn't have my roll before that, so I was just going down Cataract Canyon swimming. And then the first time I went to Costa Rica, I didn't have my roll, and I was in a playboat, which playboats are super tippy, and I flipped in every single rapid and swam. I wasn't very good. That was just 3 years ago. 3. So I learned my role in that same period of time where
in Costa Rica is where you figured out the role.
Yeah, right out of our friend's backyard, and right out of our backyard too.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fun down there, definitely.
Yeah, warm air, warm water. That's a good place to learn, huh?
Yeah, for the people who listening, buckle up, and I think that you guys should come down and see Sarah Paquis down in Costa Rica. It's fun for you guys. You definitely have some experience.
That's some good advice. That's a gem of a river, and what a place to learn too, huh?
Yeah, it's a pretty good place to learn. It's pretty much bath water down there. It feels like bath water. It might be a little bit cold at first, but to us in Durango, oh my gosh, the water's like 40 degrees. There, it's like 70. It's like bath water.
Yeah, night and day. And did you get frustrated during that period where you were swimming all the time and couldn't roll?
Well, not really. I was just scared to go down this rapid because I had a feeling that I was going to flip and swim.
Yeah, that's a bad feeling, right? When you feel like anytime you flip, you're going to swim.
Right.
And and at that point, I assume Orin had a role, right? Was it frustrating to be the only one that wasn't able to deal with that?
I don't know, a little bit, because like for a while, well, at one point he did get his role for a while, and then there's this one rapid that he just kept flipping on every single time he went down. It was like we just kept having to rescue him every time he went down.
So did you ever feel like quitting, either of you?
No.
Not really.
No, that's great.
I wanted to keep going and be like, my dad really wants me to do this, so I better make it something that I love, because this is not going to be fun if I don't.
Oh, interesting. So the pressure of the family all doing it was part of what kept you going, huh?
Kind of. Well, that was kind of what was going down in my mind. Then I was like, let's just learn how to kayak so I don't have to think of this all the time. So I learned how to kayak, and I suggest you to learn how to kayak too, because you get to go places that normally you wouldn't be able to go. And in a trip, in a private trip, that's what you want to do instead of paying money to go down a commercial trip.
Yeah, well, I think you're preaching to the choir to a lot of people listening to this podcast, because they're mostly whitewater lovers. But it's a cool thing to see how you guys have been able to bring it together as a family, because a lot of people, once they have kids, they feel like they can't get out and do adventures anymore. But your family's kind of turned it on its head and said, like, we're bringing the kids along on all the adventures we're doing.
Yeah, it's going to be like, what it's like is they're like, okay, wait, so we have kids now, and I don't know if we want to keep adventuring. And then they're like, oh, let's just adventure more. Because that's what they did. They just started adventuring more with us.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're thankful for it too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Because we have a lot more experience than we normally would have.
Yeah, such a rich experience to go to all these places. And where are you headed next?
The Ottawa.
Yeah, Orin's heading to the Ottawa, and I'm heading to canoe camp.
Oh, awesome. Well, so canoe camp on the Ottawa, or is it on some adjacent river?
No, it's not on a river. It's in Georgian Bay area.
Oh, okay, so you're going to be doing some kind of lake exploring on a canoe. That
And we
sounds nice.
might take a bus with some canoes and go down, have some fun in a river. I don't know. I don't really know. It's my first time going to
All kinds of opportunities. Well, that's cool, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing all your experiences with me and everybody else listening. And is there anything else you want to add? Any advice you would give to any parent or kids who are thinking about getting into the same kind of adventures you just did?
Well, yeah. I would definitely have some advice for the parents that are anxious to bring their kids down rivers that are pretty hard. Make sure that if your kid does not want to, run the rapid, make sure that you can try and convince them, or so they can hop on like a raft or something and just not do the rapid.
Okay, so put a little pressure on the kid, but give him an out too.
Yeah, just give him somewhere to go if he does not.
If it's too much,
he does not think he can do it.
Gotcha.
There's also on a river trip, you don't have to just kayak. You can also just go for like a hike and see cool things and take a break from kayaking. And on the Grand Canyon, we went for a hike and then we rappelled down a canyon. Hiked above the canyon, then went down into like a slot.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a good point. That it's not all just about the kayaking; it's about where the kayaking can take you and what else you can see when you're there, right?
Yeah.
Very cool, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, and it's exciting to hear perspective of the next generation. I'm excited to see where you guys go with your kayaking and with your exploration.
Yeah.
All right, keep your dad in line. Keep him out of trouble. He's the one I'm mostly worried about.